Welcome back, everyone. It's been a while since I've done a computer video, which is funny because I put this entire room together just to do computer videos. Well, I've been very busy lately trying to make this poorly neglected house livable again, and I've succeeded, so let's make a computer video. Okay, here we go. What I have for you guys today is a laptop that even 2 years ago I wouldn't have bothered saving, but it's come to my attention that these are starting to become somewhat collectible, and mainly because they've reached the point of being completely rendered completely obsolete. And up until a couple of years ago, some of these were still in active use. So I present to you the recently minted obsolete HP. What is this thing? This is a corporate laptop, a laptop that was typically ordered by a corporation in a fleet purchase for employees, administrators, and other staff. But like my Lenovo ThinkPad T-Series, many consumers who knew better than to buy HP's consumer-grade laptops would have bought one of these as well. This is a Compaq NC8230. Compaq's HP has had an interesting history with the Compaq brand. I mean, they did acquire the company completely. I don't recall exactly what year that was, but it doesn't matter for this. The Compaq name was kept around a little bit, mainly for business products and commercial products. For a little while before it was totally phased out. But this is one of the last Compaq brand products, and it's funny because right over here I have the very first Compaq product. Kind of a stark comparison there, but this laptop, I only saved it because of its condition. It was in remarkable condition when I found it. The keyboard shows very little wear and tear. Let's take a closer look at it. You can see there's not a lot of wear on the wrist pads, and the spacebar only shows minor wear. The enter key is in perfect condition. Usually the keys, as I mentioned many times in other videos, the ones that go first are the shift keys, the enter keys, and the spacebar, and then you've got your A, S, and other more frequently used keys. But this one is in relatively good condition. It still has its product labels on it, the Centrino and Microsoft XP logos. It did not somehow manage to not have its hard drive yanked when it was decommissioned, so it's still there. I actually got this laptop from its previous owner with the assertion that I would erase the drive, and I've done that. But it's in remarkable condition. This laptop dates back to approximately 2005, I believe. And it actually does have a dock connector, so you could have a full dock. And this laptop even features Bluetooth. This is one of the only Windows XP era laptops that I've ever found that has a Bluetooth radio built in. We can determine its exact age, or at least a close approximation, by pulling the hard drive, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So let's take a look inside, see how old she is. Kind of like counting the rings on a tree, only looking at production dates. So I'm going to pull the drive using a Phillips screwdriver rather than a flat blade. Usually keep at least one of each. I have two two flat things. And oh, what's this? There she is. Let's yank the hard drive out. We still have the Windows XP COA. And right here, you've got this little card, which is usually, these are usually thrown away. This card slips out, and you can put your business card in here. Here I have a business card I can show you. So if you're traveling with a laptop, which is what these are meant to be business road warriors. This laptop is in direct competition with the would have been then IBM ThinkPad, which was secretly made by Lenovo, and the the Dell Latitude product line. And those were your, and not only that, but the Acer Travel Mates were popular back then. And so those were your typical go-to laptops for business customers or business purchasing departments, large IT departments. At that time, around the time this laptop was made, I was still purchasing Acers for my employer. I didn't like the Acer products because I also had to service them, and they were a nightmare because they kept breaking down. But they were just I didn't find that Acers were ever really a great product, especially back then. They just didn't really offer anything that I couldn't get for less money elsewhere. Let's pull the drive out here. Let's see what we got. So yes, this laptop is in fully operating condition, at least right now. But it's doesn't want to give up its hard drive. And the screw is spring loaded. I'm gonna have to use some power tools to get that out. Not really. What do we got for screwdrivers? I still haven't really organized this little computer lab of mine yet. It's still kind of in disarray, but we'll get there. It looks like this one actually has a SATA drive in it. It sure does. No, it's not SATA. It's an IDE adapter. So it's not SATA. This is a 60 gig drive. It is a Seagate Momentus 5400. Pretty typical drive for the time period, which was 2005. Looks like. I have a date code of 9505C5. I believe that would be right around 2005. Date 06194. It could be 06 too. I hate it when they give you cryptic date codes like that you have to decode. But a 60 gig drive definitely places this somewhere, I would say, prior to 2006. I remember when I ordered my HP Pavilion in the summer of 2004. It ended up with a 60 gig drive, and that was an upgrade option. So 60 gigs back in the mid 2000s is definitely not a bad number, I guess. Pretty typical run-of-the-mill drive. Okay, so we know what's in there. No, I'm not going to put an SSD in it. I'm not going to spend any money on this laptop, but thanks for writing that comment, those of you who always write that comment. I haven't done one of these videos in a while, so I don't know what we're going to talk about yet. I've already actually gone through this laptop before I brought it home. I went through it. I removed any data from the previous owner. I cleaned the laptop thoroughly. It looks beautiful, with the exception. Now again, this is another indicator that we're not dealing with your average Walmart HP laptop. I mean, you cannot compare this to a Walmart HP laptop. A lot of people will make comments, sweeping judgments that HP products are crap, and they are. But their consumer products are crap. But their commercial grade stuff is usually pretty well made. You know, I would have no problem buying an HP over a Lenovo commercial line product because they're built to a different standard. This is a very tough little machine. It's well equipped. Let's take a look at what we have for ports. It still has, even in 2005, a 9-pin serial is kind of a rarity for a laptop, but for a fully decked out business laptop, that was actually kind of a nice feature to have because they would use these. A lot of people would buy these who worked in the telecommunications industry or in the HVAC industry. I can tell you that the company that services the HVAC system where I work, they still carry around a laptop with a serial dongle, and that's how they communicate to the older PLCs that control some of the older modern HVAC systems. But we also have a DVD-ROM drive, CDRW capable. We have 2 USB ports. These are going to be USB 2.0. We've got, of course, microphone and headphone jack. This laptop also features, I believe, an infrared port. Yes, it still has an infrared port on the front. So this is kind of the end of an era. Shortly after this laptop was made, there started to become a sweeping movement to eliminate optical drives from laptops. This is definitely a CTO machine. It was custom ordered with a security card as well as an SD card slot. The SC card was let's say a security card of some kind. I've never actually encountered one in real life. I don't work in high tech or anything, Anyway, it also has a built-in 56K modem. It has a video port and a mini FireWire, could be a 400 mini FireWire 400 port. Yeah, I think that's all it is. Yeah, I think it's a 400. And it has a third USB port. So, nice little machine. Don't know what it has for a processor yet. Let's find out. I actually don't remember what the configuration was. We'll plug in the power here. I do know the battery doesn't work though. But yeah, you can probably, some of you who know older laptops can see why I would have preserved this one. Because again, look at the condition it's in. There's no scratches. It fires right up. The battery's dead, so its first instinct is to turn on when the power is applied. It does need an eraser head nub. This does have a track point. Again, that's another feature that these business laptops had back then. We're getting a 163 date time not set, so we've got a dead clock battery on our hands. To take a look at that. I might actually fix this one up and use it for whatever. I mean, how many laptops I have here? I actually have quite a few. I think it's time to mow the lawn, so to speak. But those are all laptops in those bags. I have quite a few. I have a lot of desktops too. We're saying I would never collect desktops, and here I am. I've got some. Well, this one I use, but I've got a lot of vintage stuff kicking around. So let's take a look. I'll get it running here. Hit escape. No. None of that. Let's turn it off and on again. The other thing that some of you may not realize this, but if you've ever had to call for tech support on a consumer product, you all know what that experience is like. I mean, I think every one of us does. Sometime in the early 2000s, almost every tech company started outsourcing their tech support to overseas call centers. Most of them in either India or in the Philippines. However, corporate products or business products, whatever term they want to use, most of them actually have onshore tech support. I know that this is definitely true for Lenovo as of 2019. Oh, here we go, finally booted. But if you call for tech support on a consumer product, you will get an overseas call center. But for a business product, it's a much better experience. often you also get better warranty terms and better support, longer support for things like drivers and system patches and stuff. So it's a much better experience if you're buying a business product, which is why when I bought my new laptop, I went with a ThinkPad T-Series, because I get better warranty support, a longer lifespan, a better built product. You pay for it. It costs generally twice as much to buy a consumer or to buy a business product over a consumer product. But if you don't care about things like RGB LEDs and media keys and stupid keyboard functions that you don't need in the real world, or glossy displays, it's a better experience and a better product overall. So we're going to go ahead and log into this machine. This is still running a Windows XP install. You know what? I thought I cleaned this one off. I didn't do that yet. I still have to do that. This is actually running its factory HP sourced Windows XP build. But I do believe somebody did a factory restore on this before they retired it, so I think I'm okay. Yeah, it's got Bluetooth built in. I don't know the details of what radio is used. Let's take a look at the device manager and see what we got here. So I'm going to go into my control panel. This machine will stay a Windows XP machine. I have no plans of ever rebuilding it. Okay. System and devices. It's not registered to anybody. It is running Service Pack 3, in case you're wondering. How's the brightness? I think we have a problem. The screen. Now this is actually it's funny because I'm so used to using LED backlight or backlit displays that I'm not used to the fluorescent backlighting. So it seems dark to me. But let's see if it's at its full brightness. It's going to be function F11. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it wasn't full. I don't know what that does. So we're going to go dark, bright. Function F11. It's like a brightness boost. Okay, must be like a day-night mode or something. Alright, so we're going to go into Device Manager. Let's take a look at what's in this machine in terms of equipment here. So, first things first. Oh yeah, this has a 3-button. Take a look at this. This thing is a 3-button trackpad with a scroll zone. It also has the same 3 buttons on the AccuPoint, TrackPoint, whatever. There were many different corporate names for those, by the way, different brands depending on whose laptop you're buying. They all call them different things. TrackPoint is, I think, the most widely uncontested name that people seem to be agreeing on. So processor-wise, it looks like we're running an Intel Pentium M, currently running at 1.86, and it has a range of 1.86, currently running at 782 megahertz with 2 gigs of RAM. This is the controversial days of processor cycling, when it wasn't widely understood or perfected. Laptops from this time period would clock themselves down. Oh, it has an ambient light sensor. That's what this F11 is. Oh my god. That's what that is. It's an ambient light sensor. So when I turn this light on, the screen should brighten up. I don't know where the sensor is, but let's see if we can demonstrate that here. It doesn't have a camera. Modern laptops use the webcam, I believe, as an ambient light sensor. So it doesn't have that. This is pre-webcam days. It does work. because when I turn the light off, it dims a little bit. So we have a working ALS. Don't know where the sensor is. Look for a little window or something here. It's gotta have it somewhere. Could be under. Oh, I just noticed something cool. This keyboard lifts up. If you pull these levers back, this whole keyboard should lift right up. It might be screwed down from the back. That might be. Yeah, I think it is. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Let's take a look at what it has for hardware first. So we have, yeah, 2 gigabytes of RAM, which is pretty good for a Windows XP machine, since Windows XP can only see 3 gigabytes unless it's the 64-bit version. Okay, so what do we got here? Smart card. That's what it is, a smart card reader. That's what it has. That security thing that I thought it was. Never mind. Bluetooth devices. Yeah, I wanted to see what it had for radio. Let's see if it tells me. And so Widcom. It doesn't say what model. 2004 is the driver date. So that kind of helps date this machine. I think 2005 was pretty close to accurate. In another video, I think I'm going to try this machine running Grand Theft Auto. I think that'll be a worthwhile test. Just see kind of what it can do. And how it can play games. The display resolution, let's see what that is. Let's see what we have for a display panel. It's got an ATI Mobility Radeon X600 capable of, it's currently at 1280 by 768, but it looks like it'll do 1600 by 1200. Let's see if it really does it. No. It's definitely scaling it, so looks like the native res is going to be 1280 by 768, which isn't too bad. Okay. Let's see what it has for you know what, I should have looked up the specs on this to see whether or not it has discrete graphics memory, but I think it might. Alright, let's take a look under that keyboard. My battery's really running down, so I need to pause this. Alright, let me do this. I'm going to unplug this. See if there's any keyboard lock screws. Yeah, there is. There's 1 or 2 here. So once we release those, we'll be able to pull the keyboard up and see what goodies lie within. This is not the right screwdriver, but it's what I got. I'm going to get the right screwdriver. My camera gets down to 14 minutes remaining. It's usually like 5 minutes, so we gotta worry about that now. The memory door is right here. So let's see what we got here. Alright. That should pretty much do it. Alright. It's good, you know, it's always nice to find laptops like this. These business machines were often, you know, used and abused, and to find one in this condition is actually quite refreshing. And definitely, I'd say, worth saving. Alright, so under the keyboard we have, there's our Cmos battery, which is dead. Okay. What I'm going to do is a CR2016. I'm going to make one of these. I think I might even have one. But I'm going to make one that can just plug right in. And we'll be able to get the clock working on it. You can actually see the other side of the memory slot here. Oh, it has a memory slot on top as well as on the bottom. I see what they did there. A lot of these laptops would have had that. So you would have, you know, your built, whatever memory it shipped with would usually be on the top slot, and then you can add on the bottom. But generally, I know that one of the Dell Inspiron laptops had this same configuration where you'd actually had to disassemble the entire laptop to upgrade the built-in RAM. Here's our cooling fan. Looks Looks like, yeah, 2005, 11/30/2005 is when it was made. That's the date on the processor. And that sounds about right. Manufactured November 2005 on the CD drive. So I was pretty good. I was pretty right on that one. Hit the head on the nail, so to speak. I may be on the lookout for another track point nub. This one's kind of gross. And I don't want to try to, wedge a... actually, I don't think I even can wedge a Lenovo track point nub on this thing, and it won't fit. But there we have it. This is a fantastic little laptop. In fact, I mean, I would not have scoffed at buying one of these new. I mean, it just has a very nice feel to it. It's not an ugly laptop by any stretch. It is built better than anything you'll find the HP or Compaq logo on in the consumer space. But I almost caused a little damage there with that screw in the desk. I don't have time to look up the date that Compaq, the Compaq name was discontinued, so you're going to have to look that up on your own. But I do know that 2005, it was beginning of the end for the Compaq name. I know they kept it around, I think, for brand familiarity, because they still had business customers who were loyal to the Compaq name, and they just kind of kept it, as kind of a footnote, or kind of like the way it's almost like how Lenovo kind of kept the IBM name around for a little bit longer. I think it was around 2007, 2008 when they finally had ended all Lenovo branding, or all IBM branding. Two corporate giants died around the same time. It's a shame. It really is. I mean, I'd still rock a Compaq just for nostalgic's sake, right? The HP logo is a little scuffed. Not too bad, though. Not too bad. But yeah, she's a survivor, and I'll add her to the collection. I'm going to probably start paring these down. I'm going to get rid of some of... I wanted a nice, good, solid Windows XP machine, and I think this is a good one. I do have a ThinkPad buried in that pile somewhere that would be another candidate, but it needs repairs. It's got a bad cooling fan. And I like this laptop. I think this is a much better laptop than the ThinkPad that I have over there because it's just in better shape. But that's the R61 that I was using up until very recently as my knockaround laptop. And it's actually running Windows 10. But this one here, this will be my Windows XP daily driver, so to speak. And I'm going to probably get rid of the Veritech. That laptop just doesn't belong in my collection anymore. And I've got some other ones over there. There's my Z61, PowerBook G4, PowerBook 170. I've got a ton of laptops over there. I got to start paring those down. So I might be firing up my eBay account pretty soon. Unfortunately, they're not worth a whole lot, which I should have known. Yeah. We'll make a new clock battery for this. I don't feel too uncomfortable soldering onto coin cell batteries. I know you're not supposed to. In fact, I could actually bring this over to Batteries Plus, and they have a little tack welder, jeweler's tack welder for that very purpose. I might make a battery for it, just so that I don't get that message on startup, you know what I mean? Maybe rebuild the battery pack in it. Wouldn't that be fun? I still need to do that. I've got the Compaq LTE 5280 that still needs a battery pack, and I still have the parts kicking around somewhere that I need to assemble into a functioning pack. Gotta get these things done, man. But I'm too busy with this house, so I haven't really had a lot of time to mess around with, fun stuff. Next week, I'm taking it off. I'm taking some vacation time next week, and not to go to Cancun, but to tear out a bathroom floor. And so that's kind of my life now. So I apologize if my updates haven't been very timely. I got this janky bag for this laptop. If it had an HP logo on it, I probably would hang on to it, but I'm going to toss it. I'll go to Savers and I'll get a nice Targus for it, something a little more fitting. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll get this uploaded hopefully soon. Till then. And yep, the 1954 Mayflower Furnace is still providing reliable heat. This is, I've been told, possibly one of the oldest forced hot air oil furnaces still running in New England. That's something. It is the oldest one. The oil company that delivers my oil said absolutely the oldest furnace, period, on their route. And you wouldn't know it. It still runs the day it was put in here in 1954. They don't build things like they used to. No, they do not. And for good reason. It doesn't really help the economy. When things last 100 years, yeah, doesn't really make money, does it?